Today's world is a pretty divided place, but at Drawn of History, we know that there's one undeniable truth. Toilet paper should be hung over, not under. Show that you're not an uncivilized maniac and get your Right Side of History t-shirt, the first shirt from Drawn of History. Yes, this is real. It comes in white and dark mode, and it really helps the channel. Link down in the description. Now on with the video. Fjordhild! This drinking horn ain't gonna refill itself! More mead! Anyway, kids, where was I?
Why Grandpa came to Iceland.
Yeah, so Grandpa had to come to Iceland because of some killings, and here we are. Who is it now? Fjordhild, the door!
It's Eyjolf the Foul.
By Odin's beard, what does this Rasraga want? Kids, give Dad a minute. Eyjolf, what is it? 3 of your thralls caused a landslide that destroyed Valthiel's farm. Yeah, well, how do you know they were my thralls? Because they confessed it to me right before I cut off their heads. Kids, I'll be right back. Dad has just gotta talk to Eyjolf.
I'm gonna be cool like Grandpa Thorvald and get banished for murder when I grow up.
I don't get what's so cool about that.
And that's why I'm named Thorvald after Grandpa. And you're named after the wimpiest part of a tree, Leif.
That's not what Leif means. Freydís, can you back me up here?
I'm going to kill you in your sleep and make a blanket from your skin.
Okay, Freydís. Thorstein, what do you think? Thorstein, stop being the tough old game pieces.
All right, family, pack your bags. We're being banished for murder. Before you can talk about Leif Erikson and the Norse expansion of North America, you have to talk about the Norse expansion everywhere else. During the Viking Age of the 8th to the 11th century, Norsemen expanded throughout Europe, raiding the British Isles, extorting land in France, becoming super soldiers in Constantinople, and kinda creating Russia? You name the place, the Norse were there. This includes Iceland. Described in the Landnámabók, a Viking named Nadod was blown off course and landed there around AD 825. Nadad, we've searched for the source of these smoke plumes, and it's not from people. There's no people here. It's from the cajillion volcanoes on this island. We should call this place Volcano Land. Yeah, but I see some flurries. We should call it Snowland. Snowland? The snow is nothing compared to Norway. Meanwhile, the entire terrain is like a field of sulfuric buttholes. Yeah, Snowland sounds good. 40 years later came a Viking named Floki Vilgethersson who saw a fjord with drift ice in it and said, Snowland? We should call this Iceland. Am I the only one seeing these volcanoes? And within 100 years, over 50,000 Norsemen would call Iceland their home, which brings us to Thorvald Asvaldsson. Around the year 960, Thorvald ran into some legal issues in Norway. Thorvald, did you get into a fight recently? King Håkon, I guess you could call it that. And did you do anything rash? Well, there might have been some killings, but you don't have to make a whole thing over it. Actually, yes, we do. That's what a thing is. It's a Viking assembly to decide legal disputes. And we've had one, and you've been banished. So, get out. Exiled from his native Norway, Thorvald set sail for Iceland, accompanied by his son, Erik the Red. Gee, Dad, when I grow up, do you think I could be banished for murder too? Erik, I think you can be anything you want to be. Dad, is there a reason we're going to Iceland and none of the other much more inhabitable regions we Norse have spread to? Shut up, boy. Just shut up. Now's a good time to address that historians don't know many specifics about Erik the Red, his family, and this part of Norse history because the Norse really didn't write it down. A lot of this chapter in Norse history mainly comes from the saga of the Greenlanders and the saga of Erik the Red, both of which were told orally for hundreds of years, were subject to much political and religious bias, have been translated from their original archaic language, and should in no way be considered an undeniable literal account of what actually happened. Oh, how did these get here? So Thorvald and his son, Erik the Red, settled in Hoykatallar, Iceland. Erik would marry Fjolhild and have 4 children, Thorvald, Leif, Thorstein, and Freydís. After being exiled from Hoykatallar, Erik moved his clan to Exerny, but got himself into trouble again. So when you go into Berserker mode, it's important to try to kill multiple people in one shot, because Odin will give you a combo kill bonus in Valhalla.
Excuse me, Erik. Hi. it's Torgus from down the fjord.
What now? Give me a second, kids. Thorgus, what do you want?
Yeah, I think when you retrieved your set stoker that you had me hold for you, you might have taken mine.
Nah, I'm pretty sure I got the right ones.
Are you sure? Because that one has my name and my face carved into it. Hey, is that my lawnmower?
Hey, Leif, I bet you'd be a great bajurker.
Thorvald, grow up already. We're sick of you always being so mean. Right, Freydís?
You're still alive because I have yet to hunt you for sport.
Okay, Freydís. Thorstein, did you hear? Thorstein, take those off your head. You look ridiculous.
All right, family, I got news. We're being banished for murder again.
Yay!
Having been banished, Erik headed west to a land that was known to the Norse for almost 100 years but never settled. For 3 years, he explored that land, and while he did find icy mountains, he also found green valleys, waters full of fish, and valuable trees due to the medieval warm period that had just started.
You know, Erik, I think we might be able to get some Icelanders to help us colonize this land when your exile's over.
Maybe, but it's so far away in the boonies. We need to give it a good name because men will desire much the more to go there if the land has a good name.
Yes. But what name would appeal to what men desire most?
Come to Big Titty Girlfriend Land. Fine, Greenland. Come to Greenland. And in 985, 25 ships sailed west. 14 actually made it, and Greenland began to be colonized. Never a large settlement, Greenland survived, and Erik, now in the power position of first settler, had nowhere left to be banished from. Kinda takes the fun out of everything, you know? As the Viking settlement in Greenland grew, though never reaching a population of more than 3,000, Erik's children grew up as well. Around the year 1000, Leif had traveled to Norway to see the land of his grandfather's banishment. While there, he ended up in the court of Norwegian King Olaf Tryggvason. Yeah, so Greenland's not bad. It's not great. It's like a warm fart on a cold day. Well, that's disgusting. Anyway, have you heard the good news? Good news? We're all gonna be Christians now! King Olaf says you'll love it. So Jesus is the Son of God, and he did all these miracles like feeding 5,000 people with a few loaves of bread and a couple of fish. We already got enough gods, Leif. We got Odin, and he's already got a son, Thor, who's not just some glorified caterer. He's the god of thunder. He's got a hammer that shoots lightning. Well, Jesus was a carpenter, so he probably had a hammer too. Probably just used it to make chairs, though.
Does anyone have a Jesus chair?
Not that I know of. You know, it's kind of weird now that I think about it. Oh, Freydís, tell me you're not buying into this Christianity stuff. Freydís, I haven't seen you since I returned. Whoa, Freydís, is that you?
I bet if I slit your throat and turned you into a Pez dispenser, you'd recognize me.
Yep, that's you, Freydís. Anyway, Dad, do you know Bjarni Herjolfsson? Bjarni Herjolfsson was a Norwegian merchant that had earlier sailed to Greenland to winter with his father. He was blown off course, got flip-turned upside down, and discovered land that did not match the description he had of Greenland. Bjarni, this land has fair winds, fresh water, and covered with trees. Can we make landfall here? No, we have plenty of good land at home in Greenland. So I told Leif whatever. If he wants to buy Bjarni's ship and sail west in search of some mysterious land, I don't care. Imagine leaving voluntarily instead of getting banished. What's this world coming to? He asked me to come, but there ain't no way I'll come. Oh, what was that for? There's not enough room in this bed for me and my newfound Christian faith, and you and your pagan gods. Dad, I'm so glad you decided to come with us now. Yeah, well, I guess you could say I've been banished one last time. Ooh, speaking of, did I tell you the time that Jesus banished the moneylenders from the temple? He started flipping tables and he was all like, "Do not make my father's house a house of trade." Are you gonna be talking about Jesus this whole trip? Well, probably. It's kind of my thing now. Oh, fart. Anyway, Jesus was trashing the place, going, "My house shall be called the house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves." Oh, Dad, are you okay? Oh, my leg. Oh, it's totally got a patrol burns. I am well stricken. Oh, Leif, I guess I can't go on this expedition with you. Well, I can call it off and stay with you. We can pray until it heals. No, I mean, no, it's okay. I'll be okay. You just go. Yeah, and I'll stay here and wait for the sweet mercy of death. You sure? Positive. So around the year 1000, Leif and his crew of 35 sailed west. After a few days, it appeared on the horizon. The land that Bjarni had spoke of. Leif disembarked and set foot in the new world. They should have sent a poet to describe how useless this land is. I shall call it Hella Land because it's hella boring. Back in the boat, everybody! And by stepping foot on what is almost definitely Baffin Island, Canada today, Leif became the first European to arrive in North America. They continued exploring, finding another land with white sands and heavy woods, which Leif called Markland, which means woodland. Very creative. Leif and company would then sail around what is now Newfoundland. They would settle at Leifsboda, or Leif's dwelling, for the winter, and before leaving, make another discovery. See, one day Tyker, a German thrall on the expedition, was late arriving back at the settlement. When they did find him, he was drunk as a skunk and proclaimed, "I found vines und grapes." Tyker, those aren't grapes. They look like berries.
I think they're squash berries.
Maybe cranberries. I don't care if they're dingleberries. We could still make prison hooch wine out of them. Wait a minute. If you just found the berries, then why are you so drunk? I don't know. Why are you so sexy? Whatever. We should call this land Vinland. And that was about it for this fabled expedition. Spring came, Leif loaded up his men, some wood, and a ton of grapes and headed home. He even found a group of shipwrecked Norsemen on the return trip and rescued them, earning him the name Leif the Lucky. Oh yeah, now I got 50 men packed into a tiny ship. I'm the luckiest man in the world. According to the saga of the Greenlanders, tragedy struck the winter after Leif's return to Greenland. Erik the Red died. And being pagan until the end, was most likely buried next to the newly built church grounds. Though even this, he probably wasn't very happy about. One might expect Thorvald as the eldest son to take his father's place, but Thorvald, perhaps jealous of Leif's explorative success, had other plans.
So I want to go to Vinland. You basically spent a winter there and ran home.
Well, I guess my stay was brief.
I mean, you didn't even murder anyone. Me? I want to meet interesting and stimulating people of an ancient culture and kill them.
We actually didn't find anyone to kill, but sure, do you want to use my boat?
Shut up! Of course I'm taking your boat. So I guess that'll leave you in charge.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right. I need a favor then. I need you to banish me.
What?
Come on! Grandpa got banished, Dad got banished. I want to be banished too.
Thorvald, you're my brother, and you haven't done anything wrong. I'm not banishing you.
Well, Christianity is wrong. See, I've blasphemed. Banish me!
Well, Jesus has taught me to turn the other cheek.
Oh yeah? I hang toilet paper under instead of over. Banish me.
No, you don't, because toilet paper hasn't been invented yet. Just go to Vinland with my blessing. Ah, Thorvald, stop! Get out of here!
That counts as banishment. That counts. Ha ha!
So Thorvald and his crew of 30 men were off to Vinland. They wintered at Leifsboda and explored during the spring, which is when they found something that had eluded Leif during his journey. Other people. Thorvald greeted them the only way he knew how.
Jeez, those guys are so loud. We should call them Skrellings, because all they do is scream.
I know. What's up with that?
All right. Score another win for the Vikings. Do you hear something? Run away! Run away! Run away! We barely got out of there with our lives. Wait, does that count as a banishment?
I guess it does.
Hell yeah! Eat that, Leif!
Odin's nipples!
What? Was I hit?
Uh-huh.
Is it bad?
As opposed to good?
Okay, just pull him out. Oh, wait, no, keep it in. No, no, pull it out. Slow. Ah, no, quick.
Almost.
Ah! Okay, that's better.
He would be the first European buried on the American continent, and thus ends the story of Thorvald Erikson. Then there's the story of Thorstein Erikson. He, too, decided to go to Vinland, but immediately got lost. Washed up in another part of Greenland, died of a mysterious illness, came back as a zombie creature named a Draugr, told his wife Gudrid to rebound with an Icelander, and died again. And thus ends the tale of Thorstein Erikson. Then there's Freydís Eiríksdóttir. Depending on which saga you read, Freydís is either a psychopathic balls-out villain or a psychopathic balls-out hero. Either way, Freydís rules. In the saga of the Greenlanders, two Norwegian brothers, Helgi and Finnbogi, came to Greenland and Freydís struck a deal with them to launch an expedition to Vinland. They agreed to bring equal crews of 30 men in their ships, but Freydís tried to sneak extra men aboard.
Freydís, I can't help but notice you have a couple extra men.
Grab each other's f***ing hands. Conjoined twins. They count as one. Quit bitching and get in your boats.
The brothers were the first of the ships to reach the Norse settlement now known as Lonsdale Meadows and took up residence in Leif's old house until...
Freydís, you've arrived.
Get out of my house.
We just figured since we got here first, we should have first pick.
And I just figured that if you don't get out of my house, I'll shove my fist up your ass, then shove you up his ass, and make a Norwegian turducken.
Needless to say, there was tension between the two groups, and it only got worse over the winter. One morning, Freydís awoke her husband.
Wake up, you slapper, and go kill those weirdo brothers and their crew.
Why, my love? What have they done?
Does it matter? Whatever. Let's say they hit me.
The Lutefisk twins? They couldn't hit water if they fell out of a longship.
Listen, either the settlement gets massacred today, or you do.
Dude, your wife's pretty intense. Joke's on her. I'm into that. That's it, my love. All the men are dead.
When did I say kill only the men?
My love, we couldn't possibly. Which is when Freydís pulled a Thanos and said,
Fine, I'll do it myself.
Now, the saga of Erik the Red tells a different story. Thorfinn Karlsefni, an Icelandic merchant, came to Greenland, got in good with the not-yet-dead Erik the Red, and even married Thorstein's wife, fulfilling his zombie prophecy. He also launched another expedition to Vinland, in which Freydís joined in. They got along well with the Skraelings, forging a trade relationship between the two groups. Then, whether because the natives saw a bull for the first time, or because these lactose-intolerant people drank milk for the first time, the Skraelings lost their minds. The Norse were soon surrounded, and all seemed lost until a very pregnant Freydís emerged.
You slingers call yourselves Vikings? Get out of my f***ing way.
Freydís then grabbed a sword, whipped out a tit, slapped it with her weapon, and scared the ever-living crap out of the Skraelings.
All right, motherfuckers, who's ready to die today?
So, as you can see, Capitano Colombo, I was the first European to discover America. Maron, you don't count. Your people didn't even colonize it. True, it was hard enough even colonizing Greenland for the couple of 100 years that we did. Still, I think I should get the credit. Like Nifam, you should. I, Snebjorn Galti Holmsteinsen, first arrived in Greenland in AD 978. And as this tectonic map shows, Greenland is clearly part of North America. Didn't you and all your settlers kill each other? I don't see how that's relevant. First, Ravenfloki. I was first. I founded Reykjavik, which is clearly on the North American side of Iceland, so I'm the first European in North America. Is that so, Raven? Gentlemen, I am the first. Greenland and Iceland are clearly part of Europe, both politically and culturally, so I am clearly the most important explorer here. Excuse me? Who are you? Me? I'm a member of the late Dorset people. Us Paleo-Eskimos, we've been living in and out of Greenland for like 4,000 years. If Greenland is Europe, my specific people have been traveling and living there for like 500 years before you and your family even got there. By your own logic and definition, it's the indigenous North Americans that discovered Europe first and not the other way around, so maybe I'm the most important explorer here. Well, my friend, congratulations. You've officially been discovered! Ugh, white people. Jack Rackham, what you doing here? Did you get banished from your channel or something?
No, Eric, remember this video is part of a collab. Drawn of History is doing this video on you and your family, and I'm doing one on Hakon IV. People can check it out over here.
Yeah, and when they're done, they can check out another Drawn of History video over here. Or maybe they can support Drawn of History by becoming a Patreon patron like these guys here. These folks are the kind that you can found a colony in the middle of nowhere with.
So, Eric, you think you can introduce me to Freydís?
Oh, no, Jack, no, my boy. She'd break you in half.